Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the webinar on driving innovation and asset optimization in the water industry, hosted by the CIWEM Northern Ireland branch. I said we just give it a few minutes there until people call in, but we'll make a start. This webinar event will be recorded. CIWEM put the recordings on their CIWEM webpage on the YouTube channel when we have the permission of our authors and our speakers to do so, and as long as there are no copyright issues, which we are okay here. If you have any experience with any technical issues and need assistance, please raise your hand and use the chat function on the Zoom to let us know what the problem is and what help is required. If you have any problems accessing the chat, please use the Q&A. We will take your questions at the end of both presentations. If you would like to put your question or make a comment about the talk, please use the Q&A facility. The chat should be for technical issues with Zoom only. When asking your question, if possible, please state who you are posting the question to. There is 1 hour CPD attributable to this webinar. However, we do not provide CPD certificates, and this is not CPD accredited training. Just a wee bit about CIWEM. CIWEM is a Royal Chartered Professional Body and independent charity. We have links here to our vision and our strategy, and also links to membership, which we're always continuing to develop and grow, and also links to our CIWEM policy. So these links will be posted into the chat as we go out the presentation. So just a wee bit about tonight's webinar. So this is a technical talk 2 in the CIWEM NI program, and the event will explore the adaptation of proven technologies and modern construction methods, including modular construction, prefabrication, and trenchless technologies. These innovative approaches streamline product delivered by enabling efficient and rapid assembly, reducing on-site time and waste, and minimizing environmental disruption. By optimizing resources efficiency and supporting sustainable practices, these methods deliver significant environmental benefits, particularly for Lough Neagh and its surrounding ecosystems. So first up this evening, we have Rory Bradley, who is consultant engineer with WSP and has 3 years experience in the security, water and wastewater infrastructure. And our second presentation will be delivered by Conor Carr. Conor is a project manager for Water Solutions Ireland. He is a chartered engineer with 19 years experience in the water and wastewater industry, and Conor will touch on some real life examples in relation to a product that he's working on. I'll kindly hand you over to Rory now at the minute, who will present the first half of this webinar. Thank you.
Cheers, thank you very much, Paul. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. As Paul had said, my name is Rory Bradley, and today we'll be discussing asset optimization. We'll be focusing on some of the challenges, opportunities, and innovative solutions that WSP have implemented to improve resilience, efficiency, and sustainability here in the UK water industry. Next slide, please, Paul. So hopefully now on your screen you can see the agenda for today, which provides an overview of just what we'll be going through. We'll be beginning with an introduction and what myself and Kieran, who's joined me here, today's roles are within the water industry. And then we'll be exploring asset optimization, outlining its importance and the key challenges that the industry faces. We'll then be following this up by highlighting some real world case studies where WSP have successfully implemented these innovative solutions. And finally, we'll look ahead to the future and just have a discussion on how we can ensure sustainable and resilient infrastructure for future generations. Next slide, please, Paul. The change there, Paul. Next slide, please. Don't know there if the slide hasn't changed on my screen, Paul.
Sorry, it's just changing here, Rory, sorry.
I can see it changing there. It's on agenda now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're on to the introduction slide. Next slide, please.
Yeah.
Yep, no, that's perfect. The one just before that, please, Paul. There you go. So now for some more formal introduction. So my name is Rory Bradley, and as Paul had discussed, I'm a consultant engineer at WSP with 3 years of experience in the water, wastewater, and security sectors. And today with me I also have Ciara McGuckin, who you'll see on the panel. And he's joined today as a technical expert and is the current UK digital lead for water at WSP. So we're here today to share insights on asset optimization, focusing on the challenges, opportunities, and innovative solutions that WSP have implemented to help enhance resilience, efficiency, and sustainability within the UK water industry. Next slide, please, Paul. So we will be beginning today's discussion by going through some of the challenges that the UK water industry currently faces. Much of the UK's water infrastructure is over 50 years old and faces frequent failures along with high maintenance costs. We're losing approximately 3 billion litres of water daily due to leaks, and without targeted investments, the asset health deficit will continue to impact reliability and resilience. Next slide, please, Paul. So combined sewer overflows pose significant environmental challenges, discharging untreated sewage during heavy rainfall events. In 2024, there was approximately over 460,000 CSO spill events that were reported within the UK, which is around 1,200 per day. These spill events harm ecosystems and public health, underscoring the urgent need for proactive solutions. Next slide, please, Paul. So water pollution from industrial and agricultural sources also remain a major concern here in the UK. The Environment Agency enforces strict regulations such as the Water Framework Directive, aiming to improve water quality by 2027. Looking ahead, the next regulatory asset management period this year in 2025 will focus on achieving net zero targets while managing rising costs and maintaining compliance. Next slide, please, Paul. So it's not all doom and gloom, however, because many of these challenges can be seen as opportunity for us as engineers. One way that this can be done is with the use and integration of data analytics and artificial intelligence. So an example of how this fits into our asset management is Senator, which is an artificial intelligence of things driven system developed by WSP. It integrates AI and real-time data and cyber-secure communications to optimize flow management and prevent flood events. So it's been successfully deployed in Coimbra, Portugal, where it had completely eliminated what was once a frequent flooding area at a World Heritage Site. And the key benefits of this include proactive flood management, the reduced need for costly infrastructure expansion, and ensuring compliance with environmental regulations. Next slide, please, Paul. And another example of where AI-driven software can be used to swing these challenges into opportunities is Aquadept. So an AI-driven energy optimization solution for water pumping stations, which is also implemented by WSP. Aquadept integrates real-time telemetry and hydraulic models and AI to dynamically adjust pump operations and optimize energy usage. This has resulted when in use an 8% annual reduction in pump costs and significantly lower carbon emissions for clients such as Northumbrian Water for WSP. The main benefits of this include lower energy costs, reduced carbon footprints, and improved overall efficiency of the pumping system. Next slide, please, Paul. As well as these two, WSP have also developed the Cardiff Resilience Modelling Framework in collaboration with Welsh Water and Optimatics to enhance water network resilience in Cardiff. This framework uses hydraulic simulations to predict failures and automate risk assessments. And so far, over 10,000 simulations of this have been conducted, and they've helped to prevent service disruptions to approximately 360,000 people within this catchment area. The key benefits of this include identifying high-risk areas, enhancing operational reliability, and enabling data-driven decision-making for future investment within the Cardiff area. Next slide, please, Paul. So to prepare for the future, WSP are currently focusing on sustainable and resilient infrastructure. The next regulatory asset management period prioritises reducing the carbon footprint and protecting natural environments, ensuring long-term water sustainability. WSP initiatives such as the automated impact assessment of strategic pipe failures align directly with these goals. By leveraging innovative technologies to optimize resource use and minimize disruptions, the Python and Ethernet-based tool is used to assess pipe failures, automate valve identifications, and optimize restoration strategies. This supports the next regulatory asset management period's objectives by reducing unnecessary construction-related emissions and by improving the resilience of water infrastructure, demonstrating WSP's leadership in integrating sustainability into asset management strategies for future proofing. Next slide, please, Paul. So now that we've looked at the challenges and explored some current opportunities in asset optimization, let's shift our focus to how a future-ready approach can address these issues. So a future-ready approach balances efficiency with sustainability on the operational side. Advanced technology streamline processes and reduce energy consumption with lower costs. This results in better service delivery for customers. From an environmental perspective, innovative solutions help monitor and manage CSOs, reducing their impact. These approaches ensure compliance with regulations and support the long-term sustainability of water resources. Next slide, please, Paul. Is that on to the, sorry, there's a bit of a lag on my side. Is that on? Yep, perfect. A future-ready approach improves resilience and reliability. Predictive maintenance and real-time monitoring help identify issues early on, reducing service disruptions and preventing failures. Predictive modeling, such as the Cardiff Resilience Modeling Project framework, provides insight into potential failures and helps us take proactive measures to manage critical systems effectively. On the regulatory side, advanced technologies ensure compliance with strict regulations, helping avoid penalties and maintain public trust. Transparent and efficient operations also strengthen relationships with regulators, ensuring accountability and confidence in our solutions. Next slide, please, Paul. So to conclude, I want to recap the key themes we've discussed today. We've explored how building resilient infrastructure and securing the future of water supply are vital to addressing the challenges in the UK water industry. By embracing advanced technologies and improving operational efficiency, we can drive meaningful change right across the sector. It's clear that the solutions we implement today will shape the sustainability and reliability of water infrastructure for generations to come. As Peter Drucker once said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. I think this quote perfectly encapsulates the proactive approach that we need to be taking within this sector to ensure the future of water management. And next slide, please, Paul. I think that's us done. Myself and Kieran are happy to take any questions anyone might have. Just pop them into the Q&A section and we'll get back to you.
Thank you very much, Rory. And
no problem.
Great to see some of the work that yourself, Kieran, and WSP are doing, both here in Northern Ireland and across the water. And I think technology and AI has a massive role to play going forward. So it's good to see what IT and communications is out there to talk to the water assets that we already have in place. So thank you very much. Next up, we'll have Conor Keller to speak about a live project that he was working on with Water Solutions Ireland on the foot of Lough Neagh. So I'll ask Conor now to take the lead on this.
Thanks, Paul. Good evening, everyone. As Paul said, my name is Conor Keller, Project Manager on behalf of Water Solutions Ireland. It is great to be here today to talk about driving innovation and asset optimization. They are such key elements for delivering successful projects. Before I get going, I want to thank Paul, the chairperson of CSOs NI, and Barbara Woods, also from CSOs, for inviting myself and Water Solutions here to this webinar today. Also, thank you to Rory for your presentation. I thought it was really interesting and certainly provided me with a lot of thinking and good practice that I will look to apply in my work going forward. So kicking off with slide 1 then, our introduction and agenda. As Paul said, we're going to use Ballyronan wastewater treatment works as an example to cover three key areas. One, maximise existing assets during construction, engineering of proven and alternative solutions, and improvements to wastewater discharge. Slide 2 then, our client project brief and scope. I suppose the existing Ballyronan treatment process was generally in compliance with the previous discharge consent, which was 40 BOD, 60 suspended solids and 7.5 ammonia. However, the Northern Ireland Environment Agency, the NIEA, had indicated that a new tighter consent was required for the future flows discharging to Lough Neagh. The existing works was operating beyond its capacity. Many of these structures, which can be seen on the photos on the right, were nearing the end of their design life. Regular operator intervention was required to maintain compliance. Therefore, a new treatment works was deemed essential to ensure compliance with that stricter consent, whilst also improving health, safety, and operational efficiencies which a new works would provide. The old works consisted of inlet screening, primary and secondary settlement. The main biological treatment process was from the two circular percolating filters that you can see there. These would have effectively treated the influent to the previous discharge consent during its service life. An effective method of treatment which is still widely used today. An early contractor involvement, ECA approach, was preferred by the client, and we will cover this more in the coming slides. And the cost of this project was approximately £5 million. The project timeline then, here we can see that in February 2021, the early contractor process commenced. 18 months later, we were on site in August 2022. In 2023, we completed phase 1 and phase 2 of the project. During these phases, we were reusing most of the existing assets during construction to maintain site compliance. Last year in 2024, we completed phases 3 and 4 of the project. It's during these phases that we gradually phased out the existing assets and commissioned all the new plant and equipment associated with the new treatment works, handing over to NI Water last November in 2024. The key processes and elements of the sustainable solution. First, we had the ECI process. This allowed early collaboration with NI Water and our supply chain for design outputs and workshops such as HAZOP, value and risk management, and ultimately leading to a sustainable turnkey design and build solution. This crucial period in our Ballyronan journey allowed us the time to forward think our approach and help shape the early stages of the project, which set the tone for its overall success. Developing the turnkey design and build solution, undertaking extensive optioneering to ensure the best solution, and ultimately agreeing on a phased construction approach to reuse existing assets during construction was agreed. The location of the site was a challenge, with it being so close to Lough Neagh, along with the small footprint of the site itself. A tight single lane access along with above and below ground services led us to adopt a solution which resulted in us implementing proven but innovative off-site fabrication methods and assembly. Taking the majority of the Miaka works off-site enabled factory build, assembly and testing to take place concurrently with on-site civil works. The importance of effective early decision making cannot be overstated. Positive early steps are so important in generating momentum and confidence in the project with stakeholders. Next slide, Paul, please. The phased approach then, the reuse of existing assets during construction. Here we can see an example of the overriding positive example from the ECI process. Through methodical planning, we could develop a proposal which permitted the existing treatment works to remain operational whilst constructing the new treatment assets around the existing. This avoided a couple of notable mitigations. Firstly, the need for any temporary treatment solutions, which would have resulted in additional costs, equipment, and resources on site. And secondly, the purchase of adjoining land next to the site to build a new treatment works or an extension to the existing, which has often been the case in the past. You can see within phases 1 and 2, existing assets are coloured in orange. During phases 3 and 4, you can see that the number of existing assets begin to decrease as we bring online the new assets. The phase and engineering drawings highlight that good planning through the ECI phase is critical to good delivery. Good front-end design and its management is essential to producing desirable outcomes. Folks, innovation can come in many forms, and in this instance, the innovative practice came from the design itself. Next slide, please, Paul. Our first activity on site was to make room for the installation of 2 new GRP final settlement tanks. This involves demolishing the existing control building, which you can see in the top right-hand corner of your screen. To achieve this, we relocated and reused the existing control panel to a different area of the site. This control panel was then reconnected to the existing plant and equipment and put back into service. A crucial aspect for the existing assets to remain in service whilst constructing the new works was to ensure that the existing assets were fully operated and maintained during this period to safeguard compliance. It was imperative to provide safe access and egress for NI water operational staff. This included statutory bodies such as the NIEA for monthly sampling. In the bottom right-hand picture, you can see a picture of the final settlement tanks. These were manufactured off-site. This helped as there was little space available on-site for laydown areas, storage, and on-site assembly of materials and components. This had significant health and safety advantages and reduced the embodied carbon footprint of the completed plant by limiting the use of concrete on site, eliminating waste, and by cutting transport costs for materials, components, and site workers. Next slide, please, Paul. Here you can see the RBCs being lifted into position by a crane. RBCs are a popular choice within wastewater treatment. We refer to them as the belt and brace approach for effective and reliable treatment, and an ideal choice for Ballyrolling due to their high process stability, low compact space requirements, and another example of an off-site factory build. This meant when the RBCs were delivered to site, it was a drop-in, pipe up, and backfill method of installation, very straightforward. Other advantages are low operating costs, reduced noise, and odorless operation. This phase also included the construction of the new interstage pumping station and storm storage tank. Next slide, please, Paul. Maximizing existing assets. In this photo, we can see some of the existing assets in service alongside new assets in operation. This is an example of the measurable outcomes which can be gained when we adopt good planning, smart construction methods, along with traditional and proven technology. We have all heard the expression, never judge a book by its cover, and this can be applied to existing assets and infrastructure, which can have a valuable purpose. The benefits of existing equipment already in place should always be explored by taking a holistic approach when assessing electromechanical systems within the water industry. Thoughtful appraisals of existing assets will determine their future, will determine their purpose, either permanently or temporarily. If implemented properly, they can add significant value to our projects, reducing costs, carbon, disruption, along with environmental and sustainable benefits that come with reusing or repurposing existing assets. The picture on the bottom right shows a site sample taken during construction. This was us, Water Solutions Ireland, sampling the quality of the effluent being discharged from the existing percolating filters to check for effectiveness. And as you can see, that sample looks pretty good and was good. Next slide, please, Paul. Phases 3 and 4 of the project. Here we can see many of our new assets now installed and in service. By now, most of the existing assets have been demolished and decommissioned. These phases consisted of a busy construction, site commission and site finishes period for the construction and commissioning teams. Next slide, please, Paul. Improvements and benefits. These photographs show the finished works along with a typical sample of the final effluent being discharged into Lough Neagh. This visually demonstrates the successful delivery of the original objectives of the project. We have been consistently achieving BOD figures of less than 5 and ammonia values less than 1.5. That's a significant reduction from the new discharge consent, along with comfortably meeting the improved suspended solids requirements. This is a substantial outcome of the design and build process. It is also important that we can measure success, as it provides governing bodies and the public with a noticeable measure of success and gives them confidence in the work we are doing. Our successes that we have highlighted in our presentation today has been possible through learning and building on the works that has gone before, and is in this interaction between traditional methods and innovative new processes that we hope to continue this work into the future. For you that don't know, there was a Lough Neagh report, an action plan published by the Northern Ireland Executive in July last year. It's good to know that Lough Neagh is a key priority for the Executive moving forward. Copies of this document can be obtained from the link within the chat, or alternatively is available online. Move to conclusions. Paul, thank you. So being more efficient by maximising existing assets during construction helps to prioritise future capital expenditure that will yield the greatest added value for the consumer. Whilst the existing works was operational but not optimal, through implementing alternative, proven and innovative engineering solutions, we can achieve a modern wastewater treatment works, helping to protect our public environmental health. Adopting parts or all of the Ballyronan approach will become a fundamental model into the future. Ballyronan is a measurable outcome, providing a new, robust wastewater treatment solution for the Ballyronan area that supports local development and helps to improve the water quality in Lough Neagh. Thank you, folks.
Thank you very much, Connor, for another great presentation on a live job that it's handy to see what you've done. So it's very much appreciated. So we'll move into the Q&A session here, and we'll just start by opening up the Q&A. So the first question here is, I think this is maybe towards Rory, is that how is data collected and analysed to enhance optimization and performance of water assets?
I'm going to pass this one over to Kieran here, Paul, just because he'd probably give you a more in-depth answer than I'd be able to provide you with.
Perfect.
Thank you.
I'll try to do that one. Everyone hear me okay? I'm not sure. Hopefully the noise behind me isn't too bad. I guess we collect data at every stage of the kind of the project life cycle or the asset life cycle. So when we start designing it, we're developing BIM models. So you kind of get your engineering twin. Once we get into the operational stage, you have all the kind of sensors that are deployed. So you might have, fixed sensors like flow meters, IoT devices, a lot more chat about digital twins and how we can kind of integrate that kind of fast data into models. You've got your customer, all the different corporate data as well. So you might have customer performance information, things come back from that. And other systems like repair and maintenance history. So all that kind of gets integrated into the melting pot or into the data lake, or whatever we want to call it, where all the data is gathered. In terms of then analyzing that and trying to understand the performance or how it can be optimized. A lot of that's done through machine learning, trying to make links between the different data sets, trying to understand what insights you can gather by layering that on top of each other. I guess that's the real value in collecting data as well. If you don't really derive insights from it, then it's kind of the data just sits there and it can be really worthwhile collecting it. So we do a lot of work with our clients trying to understand how they can maximize the value. Systems or SCADA systems around pressure networks. That's pushed into the hydraulic model, and then we use that then with the automatics platform to test out different scenarios and kind of understand how the network might perform. So it's kind of a range of ways it's collected, and then I say the kind of the analysis, that's the important part.
Thank you very much, Kieran and Rory. Next question we have is for Connor, and it is, where do you pick up new ideas for improved technologies?
I suppose we work extremely closely with our supply chain to keep up to date with new products, services, and technologies that are available in the water and wastewater industry. There are world-class exhibitions held in the UK and Europe, which we also attend. So all these things lead us to consider the new innovations that's out there, and we can incorporate into our projects and offer solutions to our client, which are robust, sustainable, effective solutions out there, you know. So
Perfect. We have another one here for yourself, Connor. Is how easy was it to relocate the existing control panel while keeping the job live?
yeah, good question. I suppose firstly, before we did anything, we would have had electrical engineer of ours sign off to make sure it was safe to do so. Methodical planning, close liaison with NIE, particularly because there was a shutdown involved. NI Water planned shutdowns for the site. It, you know, at the beginning it looked like an impossible task, but obviously close collaboration with all stakeholders and supply chain, it became a possible task. And we minimized the shutdown to literally a few hours, and NI Water kindly arranged for basically tankers at the gate. So anything that came in the gate in terms of influent was taken off site and retreated elsewhere. So
Perfect. Another one, Connor, now you're on a roll. A question here from Kieran Medine from Jacopa is to Connor is, did the close proximity to Loch Ness provide any challenges during construction?
yeah, it did. There was probably more for the civils than ourselves. Obviously, a lot of excavation works going on and things like that. So I can't really speak for them, but certainly where they would have had their own procedures and increased audits by NIA and NIW during that period to safeguard any possible spills or anything into the loch, you know, but not so much for ourselves.
Okay. We have a question here then for WSP. It is the pumping cost optimizer working on pumping stations?
I think I just got an answer typed across that. Apologies, Paul.
Oh, you sorry. So say yes. We have another one here for Connor then on Ballyronan. Was any remedial works or pre-checks carried out on the assets before works commenced to provide confidence that they were suitable to be reused during the phase construction aspect of the build?
Yep, great question. And yes, there was. Before reusing any of the existing assets, all tanks and structures would have been cleaned out, removing any build-up of scum or sludge. Any existing electromechanical equipment, such as inlet screens, would have been checked for wear and tear and ensure that any replacement parts were serviced or changed before failure. As for the biological treatment, yes, the percolating filter bed, distribution arm bearings would have been checked for lubrication, greasing where appropriate. The discharge nozzles on the arms would have been checked for free discharge to ensure no blockages. So yeah, also there would have been structural checks. They were concrete structures. There would have been surveys done on that. Generally, health checks across the board of all equipment to identify any process risks or concerns before it was started. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Connor. I think this might be if there's no direction on this, but I think it's for WSP. In your experience, what are the barriers to driving innovation and asset optimization?
Let me take that one, right? I guess for us in our experience, there's various reasons or Paul maybe barriers, cultural change. I think people sometimes operators or people are just kind of trust the systems they know, so it can be a bit of a risk by changing to maybe a data driven approach or adopting machine learning. Sometimes it's just the time to do that as well. I think if you're under pressure and you've got things just going as operationally and you're managing to keep on going, then you don't really have time to step back and have a look at adopting new solutions, and the cost of those solutions as well. I think in terms of barriers as well, I think sometimes getting the data to test solutions. And I was actually at a British water conference earlier on today where there's quite a lot of conversation about that, about how water companies can share information better so that it can kind of encourage innovation among SMEs and get other people into the sector that might have new tools or algorithms or things, give them the training data. And as a good example of that, there's a platform, Stream, which is, I'm sure a lot of people on the call are probably aware of it, but last year they launched a kind of a training data set for machine learning algorithms for sewer defect detection. And that's allowed then companies come out and train sort of models that are now being used as part of the sewer defect classification process for some of the water companies. So I think sometimes just getting the data shared to do some of that stuff can be a challenge. But
yeah, you've all a lot to learn. You say trust the new innovation, new technologies.
Yeah, exactly.
Another one here, maybe for Connor, is how the continuity of the waste treatment have been ensured when the existing assets were used.
I suppose again, a lot of sampling would have been done beforehand, Paul, during the process, rigorous sampling, in fact. So really the same as before, through investigations, M&E and civil, existing assets, and sure, we could stand over them. We also would have brought in temporary pumping facilities in site. There was actually temporary pumping stations constructed as well, to facilitate over pumping and stuff. So yeah, there was a lot of process checks done before the works, and then rigorous sample and during.
Yeah. I think you had maybe typed some of these, but we'll go back to them. Question here for WSP is, what emerging technologies do you believe will play a significant role in shaping the future of the water industry?
I can talk through my typed answer if you're happy enough with that, Paul, just for everyone's sake. Yeah.
Please.
So yeah, that was a great question. I myself see several emerging technologies shaping the future of the water industry. As Kieran had touched upon, AI and machine learning for predictive analytics to prevent failures and optimize operations is obviously a major one. Integration of Internet of Things sensors for real-time monitoring of water quality and leak detection, integrating robotics and automation for inspections and repairs, especially in hard-to-reach areas, will be emerging technologies that I think will play quite a big role very soon. Even predictive modeling like hydraulic simulations to improve planning and asset performance will soon be integrated fully, and all of us will be adopting it. These tools, I think, will make the industry more resilient, efficient, and sustainable throughout. The real challenge, I suppose, is integrating them efficiently into our existing systems and not sort of superseding what we already have in place.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We have another question here for Connor. Having gone through the phased approach reusing the existing infrastructure, what were the key learnings you personally took for Ballyronan, and is there anything you would do differently in comparison to what was done at Ballyronan if you were to apply the phased approach to another site in the future?
Good question. Yeah, again, I suppose I focused on that during the presentation. I think the ECI period was key. Getting us in early and allow us to develop those phasing drawings with our civil partners was, in the past we've maybe quickly purchased land, adjoining land, to build works offline. The fact that our designers were able to come up with a design and build solution that allowed us to install these new assets around the existing was brilliant, and that's what I was focusing on during the presentation. Looking back, any changes? Not many, to be honest. Obviously, when we get involved in the contract delivery side, there's maybe tweaks we'll make to that phase and plan. but it was fairly spot on, to be honest.
I think that's the questions for the minute here. And so, yeah, just on that there, we can see on the events page here, we have some further upcoming SIWAM events. The next one being on the 13th of March, which is the new members paper. In order to apply for that, we're encouraging young members with under 5 years experience to draft a paper on the theme for the year, which is agriculture and environment, making the connection. And I think the closing date for the expression of interest is tomorrow. And then the papers will be discussed on the 21st of February, and the event will be on the 13th of March. So if you know anybody who's willing to partake in that, maybe please nominate them and put them forward. We also have a few more technical talks coming up. The next one will be on flood alleviation, and that's kindly being chaired by Warren Bowl from Amy, and that'll be a webinar on the 20th of March. Our next technical talk after that then will be on land management and peat restoration, which ties in with our theme for the year, and that will be carried out by Matt Buchanan from Arup, and it will be on the 1st of May. Again, these links will be posted on our events page and shared on LinkedIn. And we're glad to say that we have our annual dinner booked, and we'll be going back to the Titanic Hotel in Belfast, and that'll be on Thursday the 8th of May. And we also have some crossover and joint events with the ROI and NI branch, and the theme for this year will be resilience, and that'll be an in-person event in Engineer's office in Dublin. Some other events they're coming up in SIWAM are on the 3rd to the 5th of June. We have the Flood and Coastal Conference exhibition, which is always a well attended and big event, and that's in person in Telford, UK. We also then have the SIWAM Rivers and Coastal on the 7th of March, and that's the 75th anniversary as a technical conference, and that will also be in person in London. We then have the East Anglian Keeping Ethics Relevant in Water Environmental Management Conference in-person event, which is on the 25th of March. And then we have a few more presidential and webinars coming up also. So feel free to click the links if you want any further information on that, or go to the SIWAM events page. Yeah, there's also a few more links there, and a wee bit more about SIWAM, the journal, the Water and Environmental Journal, and the Environmental Magazine. So feel free to sign up to them. And they're very informative of what we're all at in the water industry and environmental aspects. So that brings us to the end of this evening's webinar. I want to thank Barbara Woods from SIWAM headquarters for facilitating this evening's webinar, which is very much appreciated, Barbara. You do tremendous work in the background, so I just want to give you a mention. A special mention then goes to Rory Bradley, Ciara McGuckin, and Conor Keller for their presentations this evening, which I personally found them very informative, and they're relevant to today's topics about budgets, new technology, Loch Ness, and asset optimization. So thank you very much, gentlemen. And lastly, I just want to say thank you for everybody who attended this evening and took time out of their busy schedules, and thank you for your continued support to the SIWAM branch. Thank you very much, and safe home, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.